What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vange, and welcome to another Pokemon Go PvP video. It's March, and the Tempest Cup is upon us, and so I've been getting a lot of Pokemon Go PvP practice with my friends, and I just wanted to share a couple of matches with you guys, share a couple of, the stuff that I learned, and yeah, let's see how I do. So for the first match, I didn't really know what my friend was going to use, so I wanted to start off with a balanced team, so I started with Lantern, I followed up with Abomasnow and Skarmory. Alright, so we start off with our Lantern and he starts off with his Alolan Ninetales. Now, Alolan Ninetales is part of the cup, but it's a little bit off meta. Yes, a little bit off meta. He's gonna get off this Psyshock. I'm gonna tank it because Lantern is quite tanky. Okay, I'm gonna get off this Thunderbolt. He decides not to tank it. Alolan Ninetales is not that tanky. Okay, so he gets off this Psyshock, but he is going to do something pretty genius right there, which is swap in his Tropius to kill off my Lantern. That was a really good switch. I'm going to swap into my Skarmory. Now, Skarmory versus Tropius. This is always going to be for Skarmory. And Skarmory can tank whatever attack Tropius has, so no need to shield ever against Tropius if you're using a Skarmory. Okay, it's just going to take a little bit for my Skarmory to take down the Tropius because Tropius is tanky as well. But yeah, I do have Air Slash on my Skarmory, which is going to let it take down the Tropius a little bit faster compared to other Skarmory. But yeah, unfortunately for me, he has this Blast Burn Charizard, which is going to destroy the rest of my team because I have Abomasnow, and Abomasnow is an Ice Grass type. Yeah, he is double weak to fire. Fortunately, I was able to take out the Blast Burn Charizard, but we end in a tie, and that is my third tie ever. Alright, so that Blast Burn Charizard got me really good, and yeah, I was not prepared for it. I didn't know that he had one. It's quite a rare Pokemon to have, but you know, it is what it is. So I took out Abomasnow and I brought in QUAGSIRE, who can handle Blast Burn Charizard really well and also can handle other things. Another reason why I took out Abomasnow is because he wasn't using any water types. So yeah, let's see how I do. So we start off with our Lantern and he starts off with his Frostlass. Now Frostlass could be a good Pokemon for this cup. Definitely will do a lot of damage, but I think you should save it till the end. So he swaps in his Tropius, right? And I caught him this time because I know about the Tropius already. I have Skarmory, so I swap it in and we already know this matchup. Skarmory beats Tropius. No shields. It just takes a while because Tropius is, it's a tanky banana tree dinosaur bird. Yes. So it's just gonna take a while, but eventually we will be able to take it. Man, that took really long. Anyways, he swaps in his Blast Burn Charizard, and fortunately for me, I was able to get this Sky Attack off. Now, this is a very, very good situation for me because I can bring in QUAGSIRE, because QUAGSIRE is similar to Frostlass. QUAGSIRE is a finisher Pokemon. If your opponent doesn't have any shields, QUAGSIRE and Frostlass will shine. Okay, difference is QUAGSIRE has Stone Edge, Frostlass has Avalanche. Unfortunately for him, I still have shields, right? So I'm able to block that and return fire with Stone Edge, which is super effective against Ice type, Flying type Pokemon. So I take game number 2. For the third match, I wanted to start off strong, so I brought my Skarmory. And Skarmory, very defendable Pokemon. I felt like I didn't have too much to worry about except for Blast Burn Charizard, which, I was still a little bit scared of, but he's probably, I was thinking in my head, he's probably not gonna start off with that. He's gonna save it for the Skarmory. Now, I was thinking, if my Skarmory gets defeated by the first Pokemon, whatever it is, I need to have something that can take down whatever it is that beats Skarmory, which might be Blast Burn Charizard and also Tropius, right? Because Tropius is a problem for QUAGSIRE. QUAGSIRE will not be able to handle the Razor Leaf coming from Tropius. So I brought in my Lapras. My Lapras is not an Ice Shard legacy, but it does have Ice Beam, right? Which is a legacy move as well. Okay, so I have Frost Breath, Ice Beam, and Surf on it. Surf for Charizard, Frost Breath, and Ice Beam for Tropius. Now, the difference between a Frost Breath Lapras and also an Ice Shard Lapras is that the Frost Breath hits harder, but it takes so long to charge up the fast attacks. With my experience, it can handle a Tropius, but you have to have one shield. You need that one shield. Alright? If you have one shield, you can handle Tropius. If you don't have that shield, RIP Lapras. So definitely not as good as Skarmory. Skarmory doesn't need to shield at all for Tropius, but yeah, we'll see how we do. So we start off with our Skarmory, and he starts off with his Blast Burn Charizard, which is a very bad matchup for me, so I have to swap right away to my Lapras. I did charge that Sky Attack, and I take this Blast Burn to the base. I should have shielded it because even though it was neutral, it hit like a truck, so I definitely should shield that in the future. Okay, so I get off this Ice Beam, burning one shield on his Tropius. I swap into my Skarmory, which is going to do a Sky Attack right away, burning another shield, and that's really important. Now, the matchup, you already know this. Skarmory versus Tropius, you probably have memorized this. Okay, but the important thing to note here is that we just set up QUAGSIRE to win. So, the Grass-type Pokemon is now gone. The enemy doesn't have any more shields. There's a little bit of lag happening on the screen, but it's all good. QUAGSIRE is ready to go. He is locked and loaded and ready to take on the world now that he has no more problems. He's gonna get off that Stone Edge, destroy that Charizard, and the last Pokemon is Whiscash. Whiscash is gonna get off those Mud Bombs, but fortunately for me, I have 2 shields. Yeah, Mud Bomb. Very, very cheap move. You know, it's gonna burn those shields, but it doesn't really matter at the end here because QUAGSIRE hits like a truck speeding on a highway, and yeah, we're gonna take game number 3. For this next set of 3, I decided to go back to the basics and use a balanced team. I used Lantern, Abomasnow, and Skarmory. Alright, so we start off with our Lantern, and he starts off with his Lantern. There is a difference, okay? His has Charge Beam, and mine has Water Gun. Which one do I like better? I'm actually unsure. I've been going back and forth between the 2 moves for the past couple of weeks. I'll tell you when I figure it out. Anyways, I swap to my Abomasnow, thinking that I can KO this Lantern like really quick. He gets off a Thunderbolt, and then he swaps to his Blast Burn Charizard, which is not good for me. It takes out my Abomasnow. Okay, I swap in my Lantern, and with my Water Gun, I'm able to deal a lot of damage to this Charizard. Plus, I have 2 shields, so I can block. I'm still a little bit shook about the whole Blast Burn thing, but yeah, I'm able to get this Thunderbolt. He shields it. He is going to get this Dragon Claw, which is going to take out my... Well, we had a simultaneous KO. Anyways, I bring in my Skarmory, and fortunately for me, that Lantern took so much damage from Abomasnow earlier that it really couldn't put up a fight. Okay, so his last Pokemon is Tropius, which is really great because you know this, Skarmory beats Tropius. No shields, alright? And we take game number 1. So for the second match of this set, I was thinking to myself, alright, you really like that Blast Burn Charizard now. You really like that Blast Burn Charizard. Well, I'm not gonna have any Skarmory, okay? And to handle Tropius, because Tropius is gonna be a problem for all of these dudes, right? I'm gonna have Lapras, and I'm gonna save Lapras specifically for Tropius. So I went with Lantern, QUAGSIRE, and Lapras. Alright, so I bring in my Lantern, and he brings in Steelix. Now, Steelix is a good Pokemon for this meta, but he's only scary to Lantern at the very end if I don't have any shields and if he has Earthquake. So I'm pretty relaxed here. He's gonna get off a Crunch. I don't block it. Okay, I'm gonna get off this Hydro Pump. Trying to KO it like right away. Okay, he blocks that. He swaps to his Tropius, and I'm prepared for this. I bring in my Tropius counter, which is the Lapras. And Lapras can handle Tropius as long as Lapras has 1 shield. If Lapras has 1 shield, he can handle Tropius. Okay, so my Lapras takes out that Tropius. I get off this Surf against this Steelix. He blocks it. He takes my Lapras out. Fortunately, I still have Lantern, and unfortunately, there's some lag going on. My Lantern takes out that Steelix, and as predicted, his last Pokemon was Blast Burn Charizard. None of my Pokemon are weak to him, and yeah, I'm gonna take game number 2. So, for the next best of 3, I know my opponent very, very well. Me and this guy have been battling for weeks now, and you know, I know his team, he knows my team, and my choices are the way that they are just because I know him very well. I don't think that you should run this team because one Pokemon, one pretty popular meta pick, can destroy 2 of these with ease, and the third one can't really do anything. It's kind of like a neutral matchup to that Pokemon, and so yeah, we'll see how we do. We start off with Lantern, and he starts off with Tropius, and that is a bad matchup right away. I don't know why I was attacking. I should have swapped to Lapras right away. I think I panicked a little bit, but it is what it is. I blocked this Leaf Blade, and as long as I can block one Leaf Blade from Tropius, I know that Lapras can beat Tropius. Okay, he is going to bring in my worst nightmare, Lantern. Lantern was the Pokemon that I was talking about earlier, right? The meta pick, the popular Pokemon that can wreck this team. Because Lantern can beat Skarmory, and Lantern can also beat Lapras with ease. With ease, guys. And since, you know, it's a mirror match, it's kind of like a 1-1 fight. But the thing is, this Lantern has shields on me, has energy on me, and so I don't know what I don't even know why I shielded there. That was a risky move, but I guess, you know, I got that off. But risky. I think I was just panicked at this moment in time, and yeah, Skarmory versus Lantern is a bad matchup. It resists everything that Skarmory has. Everything. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, I do manage to take it down, but then the last Pokemon is Blast Burn Charizard. So rips. For match number 2, what I did was I took my Skarmory, which is weak to both Blast Burn Charizard and Lantern, and I benched it. And then I swapped in my QUAGSIRE, which can handle both of those with ease as long as there's no more shields on the field. Yes, there's no more shields on the field. Another problem that he has is with grass types. So you have to get him past the grass types, and that's what Lapras is there for. Lapras is there to handle Tropius so that QUAGSIRE can do his thing. Alright? So we start off with our Lantern, and he starts off with his Blast Burn Charizard. Finally, we have the advantage. Okay, we have Water Gun, which is super effective against that Charizard, and as you can see, it's shredding through it. Okay, so I decide not to block that Dragon Claw. He's going to swap out. I didn't know what he swapped out to. I used the Thunderbolt. It's Tropius. I'm prepared for this. I swapped to my Tropius counter, which is Lapras, which can handle Tropius with one shield. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna take this Tropius down. And now I have a charged up Lapras. I'm not sure what was gonna come in, but I didn't want to risk it. I just used Ice Beam. Okay? It was Skarmory. Now I know that he only has Skarmory and Charizard left, so Lantern is the MVP here. Because Lantern can handle both of those with ease. QUAGSIRE can handle Skarmory, but he kinda... I think he takes 2 Stone Edges to beat. But yeah, Lantern, it's going by like way too fast, but Lantern can handle these 2 Pokemon really well. For the last match, this is the team that I went with. I went with Lapras to start, Skarmory, and QUAGSIRE to follow, okay? The reason why I did this is because I wanted to bait his Tropius, right? That's basically like the reason. I wanted Lapras up in front, looking really juicy to Tropius, right? So I would just let my Lapras take a lot of damage from the first fight, and then he would probably bring in his Tropius, and then I would have my Skarmory ready to go. And I was just thinking, I just gotta set up QUAGSIRE and I'll win, right? That's what I was thinking. So definitely gotta get rid of that Tropius, gotta get rid of all those shields, and with Lapras and Skarmory, that's, highly possible. We start off with Lapras, and he brings in his Altaria, and Altaria is really weak to ice, so he has to get out of there. He swaps this Tropius, which is gonna do super effective damage to me, but he's also weak to ice. I'm gonna get off this Ice Beam. He's gonna shield that, obviously. Now I'm gonna shield this Leaf Blade because I know that my Lapras can take out this Tropius. Alright, so I take out the Tropius. This next Pokemon is going to kill my Lapras. It's Lantern. Alright, and that would have given me problems if I didn't have QUAGSIRE, but I do have QUAGSIRE, and QUAGSIRE can definitely take out this Lantern. So I'm gonna get off the Stone Edge. It's going to burn one shield, and now I'm just charging up, It's kind of like Son Goku charging up the Spirit Bomb type of thing. Okay, I'm gonna get this Lethal Earthquake. It's gonna take out Lantern. Bye-bye, Lantern. And yeah, unfortunately, that's all the charge I can get out of QUAGSIRE because Altaria is a damage beast. It is a damage freak. Now, usually, Altaria beats Skarmory just by sheer damage output, but in this case, his Altaria doesn't have any shields. Usually, like with shields, Altaria can beat Skarmory, but yeah, we take that match. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that, and I hope you learned something. Remember to leave a like, leave me some comments down below, subscribe if you haven't yet, and ding that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys!